completely change your life? Imagine if, instead of setting overwhelming goals that you struggle to maintain, you focused on small, effortless changes. Changes so tiny that they seem insignificant at first, but over time, they compound into extraordinary results. Most people don't fail at building good habits because they lack motivation. In fact, motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. The real problem is that we rely on the wrong system. We focus too much on goals, outcomes, and willpower, when in reality, success is built through small, consistent habits that become part of who we are. What if the reason you're stuck isn't because you're lazy, but because your system is broken? Do you struggle with staying consistent? Do you feel like you start good habits but never stick to them? Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly build success while others struggle? In Atomic Habits, James Clear explains how to reprogram your habits and design a system that works for you, not against you. He teaches that real transformation isn't about making huge leaps, but about making small improvements every day. And in this video, we're going to break down the most powerful lessons from the book, step by step. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear, actionable strategy to break bad habits that are holding you back, create good habits that stick effortlessly, transform your life with the power of small, consistent actions. So stay with me till the end, because these insights could change the way you approach success forever. The 1% rule. How tiny changes lead to massive results. Most people believe that success requires massive action, huge, dramatic efforts that completely transform life overnight. But in reality, success is not about making one big change. It's about making small, repeated improvements over time. Imagine this. If you improve by just 1% every single day, you won't just be a little better at the end of the year. You'll be 37 times better. This is the power of compounding. Small, consistent actions might seem insignificant at first, but over time, they create extraordinary results. Think of it like a plane taking off. If the pilot adjusts the direction by just a few degrees, it may not seem like much at first, but by the time the plane reaches its destination, it could end up in an entirely different country. The same principle applies to habits. Every small decision you make, every tiny improvement, shifts your trajectory and determines where you end up in the long run. The problem is, most people focus too much on instant results. They want to see change immediately, and when they don't, they give up. But true transformation happens in the background. It's invisible at first, just like an ice cube slowly melting. You don't see progress right away, but at a certain point, everything clicks into place. So, how do you apply this in your life? Instead of aiming for drastic, overnight transformations, focus on getting just 1% better every single day. That's it. If you want to start exercising, don't force yourself into an intense workout. Start with just 5 push-ups a day. If you want to read more, don't aim for an entire book in a week. Start with just 1 page a day. If you want to eat healthier, don't cut out everything at once. Swap out one unhealthy snack for a better option. It's not about how fast you improve, it's about how consistently you show up. Small improvements, repeated daily, lead to massive success over time. Number 2, identity-based habits. Change your behavior for good. Most people set goals like, I want to lose weight, I want to make more money, I want to be more productive. But have you ever noticed how often people set these goals, try for a while, and then give up? The problem isn't that they lack motivation or discipline, it's that they are focusing on the wrong thing. The reason most people struggle with habit change is that they focus too much on outcomes instead of identity. They think if they just achieve a specific goal, everything else will fall into place. But real, lasting change doesn't come from chasing outcomes. It comes from becoming the kind of person who naturally does those things. So, what's the fix? Instead of setting outcome-based goals, shift to identity-based habits. This means instead of just trying to achieve something, you focus on becoming someone. Instead of saying, I want to lose weight, say, I am a healthy person who makes good choices. Instead of saying, I want to run a marathon, say, I am a runner. Instead of saying, I want to read more, say, I am a reader. Why does this work? Because your identity shapes your behavior. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. The more you act in alignment with a certain identity, the more it reinforces that belief about yourself. Eventually, it stops being something you tried to do. It becomes a natural part of who you are. Think about it this way. A smoker who's trying to quit and says, no thanks, I'm trying to quit smoking, still identifies as a smoker. But a person who says, no thanks, I don't smoke, has already shifted their identity. The same principle applies to any habit. If you keep viewing yourself as someone who tries to be productive or someone who wants to be healthy, you'll always struggle. But if you embody the identity of a productive person or a healthy person, your actions will naturally follow. So how do you apply this? Decide who you want to become. Do you want to be a fit and active person? A disciplined entrepreneur? A focused learner? Take small actions every day to prove it to yourself. If you want to be a writer, write one sentence every day. If you want to be a reader, read one page every day. If you want to be healthy, make one small, healthy choice every day. It's not about being perfect. It's about casting votes for the identity you want to reinforce. When you repeatedly act in alignment with a new identity, your brain starts to believe it. And when your brain believes it, habit change becomes effortless. You don't have to force yourself to do the right thing. You do it naturally because it's who you are. Read the habit loop. How habits are formed. Have you ever wondered why some habits feel automatic while others are hard to maintain? Whether it's checking your phone, drinking coffee in the morning, or exercising regularly, every habit, good or bad, follows the same four-step process. This process is called the habit loop. The habit loop consists of 4 key steps. 1. Cue, the trigger that starts the habit. 2. Craving, the desire or urge to take action. 3. Response, the actual behavior or action you take. 4. Reward, the benefit you get from completing the habit. The more times you repeat this loop, the stronger the habit becomes. Over time, habits shift from being conscious choices to automatic behaviors. Let's look at an example. Imagine you see a cookie on the table. Cue, you see the cookie sitting on the table. Craving, you feel a sudden urge to eat it because you know it will taste good. Response, you reach out and eat the cookie. Reward, you experience the pleasure of its sweetness, reinforcing the habit. Over time, if you repeatedly go through this cycle, your brain starts to anticipate the reward before you even eat the cookie. The sight of the cookie alone can create a craving, making the habit stronger. This habit loop applies to both good and bad habits. If you check your phone every time you get a notification, your brain learns to crave that dopamine hit. If you feel stressed and smoke a cigarette to relax, smoking becomes linked to stress relief. If you exercise and feel energized afterward, your brain starts associating exercise with feeling good, making it easier to stick with. So, if you want to change your habits, you must learn to manipulate these 4 steps. How to use this to your advantage. To build a good habit, make the cue obvious. Place reminders where you'll see them. Example, leave a book on your pillow if you want to read more. Make the craving attractive. Associate the habit with something enjoyable. Example, listen to your favorite podcast while exercising. Make the response easy. Start small. Just 2 minutes of a habit is enough to get started. Make the reward satisfying. Celebrate small wins to reinforce the behavior. To break a bad habit, make the cue invisible. If you want to stop snacking, don't leave junk food where you can see it. Make the craving unattractive. Remind yourself why the habit is harmful. Example, visualize the negative effects of smoking. Make the response difficult. Add friction. If you want to stop using social media, log out after every use. Make the reward unsatisfying. Track your progress and hold yourself accountable for breaking the habit. By understanding and manipulating the habit loop, you can design better behaviors, eliminate bad ones, and take full control of your habits, one small step at a time. The 4 laws of behavior change: how to build good habits and break bad ones. Have you ever tried to build a new habit but gave up after a few days? Maybe you wanted to eat healthier, exercise regularly, or start reading more. But no matter how motivated you were at the beginning, you couldn't stick with it. The problem isn't you, it's the system you're using. In Atomic Habits, James Clear introduces 4 simple rules, known as the 4 laws of behavior change, to make good habits easier to adopt and bad habits harder to keep. If you follow these 4 steps, you can reprogram your behavior and take control of your daily habits. Law 1. Make it obvious. Your environment shapes your habits. Most people believe they need more willpower to build good habits, but the truth is, our habits are heavily influenced by our surroundings. The easier it is to see a cue for a habit, the more likely you are to do it. Want to eat healthier? Keep a bowl of fresh fruit on your kitchen counter instead of hiding it in the fridge. Want to read more? Place a book on your pillow so you're reminded to read before bed. Want to drink more water? Keep a water bottle on your desk at all times. Action step: use habit stacking to attach a new habit to something you already do every day. Example: after I brush my teeth, I will do 5 push-ups. Example: after I pour my morning coffee, I will read 1 page of a book. The key is to set up your environment in a way that makes good habits the default choice. Law 2. Make it attractive. The more appealing a habit is, the more likely you are to stick with it. We are naturally drawn to things that feel enjoyable. If a habit is boring or difficult, our brain resists doing it. But if we can make it enjoyable, it becomes much easier to stick with. How? By using temptation bundling, pairing a habit you need to do with something you already enjoy. Example: want to exercise? Only allow yourself to watch your favorite Netflix show while on the treadmill. Example: want to learn a new skill? Listen to an educational podcast while commuting. The key to making habits attractive is to connect them with something pleasurable so that your brain looks forward to doing them. Law 3. Make it easy. Reduce friction to build good habits and increase friction to break bad ones. Most people fail at habits not because they lack motivation, but because they make them too difficult. The harder something is, the less likely we are to do it. The easier it is, the more automatic it becomes. Reduce friction for good habits. Want to work out? Lay out your gym clothes the night before. Want to eat healthier? Chop your vegetables in advance so they're easy to grab. Want to wake up early? Set an alarm and place your phone across the room. Increase friction for bad habits. Want to stop mindless scrolling? Remove social media apps from your phone. Want to spend less money? Delete saved credit card information from online shopping sites. Want to watch less TV? Unplug the TV and put the remote in a different room. The key is to make good habits so easy that they become second nature, and make bad habits so difficult that you naturally avoid them. Law 4. Make it satisfying. Reward yourself to reinforce good habits. We are more likely to repeat behaviors that feel rewarding. If a habit provides an immediate sense of satisfaction, we will want to do it again. But if it feels unpleasant or pointless, we will give up quickly. One of the best ways to make habits satisfying is to track your progress. Use a habit tracker to mark an X on a calendar every time you complete a habit. Use an app to log your streaks and see your improvement over time. Example: if you're trying to write daily, keep a journal and check off every day you write. Example: if you're saving money, track your savings growth in a spreadsheet. To break a bad habit, make it unsatisfying. Find an accountability partner, someone who will check in and make sure you stay on track. Set up a punishment system. For example, if you skip a workout, you donate money to a cause you dislike. The more painful it is to fail, the more likely you are to stay on track. How to break bad habits using the 4 laws. Breaking bad habits is just as simple as building good ones. All you have to do is reverse the 4 laws. 1. Make it invisible. Remove triggers that lead to bad habits. Example, want to stop eating junk food? Don't keep it in your house. Example, want to stop checking your phone? Put it in another room while you work. 2. Make it unattractive. Reframe how you see the habit. Example, instead of thinking, smoking helps me relax, tell yourself, smoking is destroying my health and making me weaker. 3. Make it difficult. Increase friction so the habit is harder to do. Example, want to spend less time on social media? Log out after each use and delete the app. Example, want to watch less TV? Unplug the TV after every use. 4. Make it unsatisfying. Add a consequence to bad habits. Example, find a friend to hold you accountable. If you skip a workout, you owe them $5. Example, publicly commit to your goal, so failing feels embarrassing. The Goldilocks rule, how to stay motivated. The biggest challenge with habits isn't starting, it's staying consistent. Motivation comes and goes, and if a habit feels too easy, we get bored. If it's too hard, we give up. The Goldilocks rule states that we stay most motivated when a task is just challenging enough to keep us engaged, but not so hard that we feel discouraged. Example, if you're learning a new skill, aim for something just outside your comfort zone. Not too easy, not too difficult, just right. Example, if you're working out, don't start with extreme workouts. Begin with a level that challenges you but still feels doable. How to stay motivated long-term. Track your progress and celebrate small wins. Focus on the process, not the results. Remind yourself that consistency is more important than perfection. The key to long-term success is to challenge yourself just enough to stay engaged while making steady progress. That's how you build habits that last a lifetime. Final thoughts. Building good habits and breaking bad ones isn't about willpower. It's about setting up the right system. By applying the 4 laws of behavior change, you can reshape your daily routine, transform your habits, and create lasting success. Small changes lead to massive results. It all starts with just one tiny habit. So, what habit will you start today? Want to transform your habits? Start your journey today. If you're ready to take control of your habits and create lasting change, Atomic Habits is a must-read. It's not just another self-improvement book, it's a proven system that helps you make small, powerful changes that compound into remarkable results over time. You can get your own copy right now and start applying these strategies immediately. Check the link in the description to grab your copy and take the first step toward transforming your habits today. What's next? Master your financial success. Now that you've learned how to master your habits, the next step is mastering your financial mindset. In our next video, we will break down the key lessons from The Psychology of Money, a book that reveals how your mindset around money can shape your financial future. Remember, small habits lead to big success. Start today, stay consistent, and watch your life change one small step at a time. What if I told you that the way you think about money is more important than how much you make? Most people believe that financial success is about knowing stock markets, analyzing data, and making complex investment strategies. But in reality, wealth has less to do with intelligence and more to do with behavior. In The Psychology of Money, Morgan Housel reveals that financial success is not about what you know, it's about how you behave. And today, we are going to break down the most important lessons from this book so you can change the way you think about money forever. Stay until the end, because I'll be sharing a key takeaway that could transform your financial future. Let's dive in. Lesson 1. The power of compounding. Most people underestimate the true power of compounding. We tend to believe that wealth comes from big wins, hitting the jackpot in the stock market, making a fortune in crypto overnight, or launching a business that skyrockets instantly. But in reality, true wealth is built slowly, consistently, and over long periods of time. One of the best examples of this is Warren Buffett. People recognize him as one of the greatest investors of all time, but they often overlook the real reason behind his massive fortune. Buffett started investing when he was just 10 years old. By the time he was 30, his net worth was around $1 million. Not an extraordinary amount by today's standards. But as he continued investing, his wealth began to compound exponentially. By the time he was in his 60s, that $1 million had grown into billions. The key here isn't just the skill of investing, it's time. Buffett's real advantage wasn't that he found secret stocks or took massive risks. His edge was that he had decades of compounding working in his favor. Compounding is the process of earning returns not just on your initial investment, but also on the returns that investment generates. Over time, this snowballs into massive growth. To put it in perspective, let's take two people. One starts investing at age 20, putting aside just $100 per month. Another starts investing at age 40, putting aside double the amount, $200 per month. Who ends up with more money by retirement? The first investor, even though they invested half as much per month, because time is more important than the amount you invest. Compounding doesn't just apply to money. It applies to knowledge, relationships, skills, and habits. Small improvements made consistently over long periods create massive results. Action step. Start investing as early as possible, even if it's just a small amount. Time is the most valuable asset when it comes to building wealth. The earlier you start, the more compounding can work in your favor. Even if you feel like you don't have much to invest, consistency over time will make a bigger difference than trying to chase quick wins. Lesson 2. Wealth is what you don't see. Most people believe that wealth is about luxury, the big mansions, expensive cars, designer clothes, and extravagant vacations. But in reality, these are not signs of wealth, they are signs of spending. True wealth isn't what you see, it's what you don't see. It's the money that stays in your investments, growing quietly in the background. Many high-income earners appear rich on the surface, but in reality, they're living paycheck to paycheck. They buy expensive cars on loans, own homes they can barely afford, and max out credit cards to maintain a certain lifestyle. But real wealth isn't about how much money you spend, it's about how much you keep and grow. Take two people. One drives a modest car, lives in a simple house, and saves 50% of their income. The other has a luxury car, a massive home, and barely any savings. From the outside, the second person looks wealthier. But in reality, the first person is building true financial security. Over time, their investments will compound, creating financial freedom, while the second person remains trapped in an expensive lifestyle they have to keep working for. A common mistake is assuming that because someone has expensive things, they must be rich. But more often than not, those who actually have significant wealth don't feel the need to show it. The richest people in the world, Warren Buffett, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, are known for their relatively modest lifestyles. Why? Because they understand that real wealth is freedom, not things. If you spend all your money trying to look rich, you'll never actually be rich. True financial success comes from the ability to control your money, not from impressing others. Action step. Shift your mindset from spending to saving and investing. Before making a big purchase, ask yourself, am I buying this because I truly need it or just to impress others? Focus on building silent wealth, the kind that grows in the background and gives you long-term financial security rather than short-term gratification. Lesson 3. The psychology of enough. Most financial mistakes come from not knowing when enough is enough. People chase more money, bigger investments, higher risks, believing that just a little more will finally bring happiness and security. But the truth is, if you don't define what enough means for you, you'll always feel like you need more. Think about it. Some of the richest people in history have lost everything because they weren't satisfied with what they had. They took excessive risks, over-leveraged themselves, and eventually collapsed. In contrast, those who understand the psychology of enough build wealth steadily and securely over time. Take an investor who already has millions but continues chasing high-risk opportunities for even bigger returns. If they don't recognize when they have enough, they might overreach, make reckless decisions, and lose everything. Meanwhile, someone who is content with their financial strategy, focused on steady growth and security, is more likely to maintain long-term success. The problem is comparison. People see others making millions from crypto, stocks, or business, and they feel like they're missing out. They take unnecessary risks because they're afraid of being left behind. But chasing every new trend isn't a wealth-building strategy. It's a recipe for disaster. Real wealth isn't about chasing infinite gains. It's about sustainable growth. The happiest and most financially secure people are those who define their own version of success and stick to a strategy that aligns with it. Action step: define what enough means for you. Ask yourself, how much money do I actually need to live comfortably? Am I making financial decisions based on my goals? Or am I chasing trends? Is this risk truly worth it? Or am I just acting out of greed? Instead of constantly looking for the next big opportunity, focus on making smart, steady decisions over time. The key to financial stability isn't taking bigger risks, it's knowing when you already have enough. Lesson 4. The role of luck and risk. Most people believe that financial success is purely the result of hard work, intelligence, and smart decision-making. While these factors matter, there's another element that's often overlooked: luck. Your financial journey is shaped by factors beyond your control. The year you were born, the economy when you started your career, the opportunities available to you, and even who you met along the way. Some people graduate into a booming job market, while others enter during a recession. Some are born into wealth, while others have to build everything from scratch. These uncontrollable factors play a huge role in financial success. At the same time, risk is always present. Even the smartest investors lose money. The world's top entrepreneurs have failed businesses in their past. The stock market can crash unexpectedly, companies can go bankrupt, and unforeseen events like global recessions or pandemics can wipe out wealth in an instant. The mistake many people make is ignoring either luck or risk. Some assume that all success is just hard work, so they take massive risks, believing they can control everything. Others believe everything is based on luck, so they don't take action at all. The truth lies in between. Action step: acknowledge that both luck and risk are part of financial success. Instead of trying to control everything, focus on long-term stability. Diversify your investments to reduce risk. Avoid overconfidence. No one is immune to financial mistakes. Don't chase overnight success. Play the long game. Understand that some people succeed because of luck and some fail because of bad luck. But the best way to build wealth is by making consistent, smart decisions over time. Lesson 5. Save like a pessimist, invest like an optimist. Most people approach money with either too much fear or too much confidence. They either hoard cash because they're afraid of losing money, or they invest recklessly, believing everything will always go up. The best investors, however, balance pessimism and optimism in a way that protects them while allowing their wealth to grow. Save like a pessimist. The world is unpredictable. Recessions happen. Jobs are lost. Markets crash. Unexpected expenses arise. If you don't prepare for these situations, you could find yourself in serious financial trouble. That's why the smartest investors always have an emergency fund and savings that can cover months or even years of living expenses. They assume that things will go wrong at some point because history shows that they always do. The key is to be ready when it happens. Invest like an optimist. While short-term problems are inevitable, history shows that long-term growth is almost always positive. The stock market has survived wars, depressions, recessions, and global crises. But over time, it has always recovered and grown. Smart investors know that while the next year might be rough, the next 20 years will likely be profitable. They don't let short-term fears stop them from investing in long-term growth. The biggest mistake people make. Some people panic and never invest because they're too focused on short-term risks. Others take too many risks and don't save for emergencies, leaving them vulnerable when things go wrong. The key is balance. Action step: save aggressively, build a strong emergency fund so you're never forced to sell investments in a crisis. Invest wisely. Don't let fear keep you from long-term opportunities. Stay patient. Wealth isn't built overnight, but smart decisions today will lead to financial security in the future. Lesson 6. Freedom is the ultimate goal. Most people believe that money is about buying more things, a bigger house, a nicer car, or luxury vacations. But true wealth isn't about possessions, it's about freedom. What does financial freedom mean? Real wealth is the ability to control your time. It's the ability to wake up and decide how you want to spend your day, rather than being forced to work just to pay bills. Money gives you choices. The choice to work on things you love instead of being stuck in a job you hate. The choice to spend more time with family instead of missing out because of financial stress. The choice to live life on your terms instead of constantly worrying about money. The problem: lifestyle inflation. Many people make more money, but instead of using it for freedom, they increase their spending. They upgrade their house, buy more expensive car, and take on bigger financial commitments. This keeps them trapped in the cycle of needing to work just to maintain their lifestyle. The key is to prioritize financial independence over material wealth. Action step: live below your means. Don't let lifestyle inflation steal your freedom. Save and invest aggressively. The more assets you have, the less you rely on a paycheck. Redefine success. True success isn't about what you own. It's about the ability to control your own time. Money should be a tool to create freedom, not a trap that keeps you working forever. Final takeaways and action plan. Building wealth isn't just about making money. It's about understanding how money works and using it to create freedom. Let's recap the most important lessons from the psychology of money. Start investing early and let compounding work for you. The earlier you start, the greater your returns over time. Even small, consistent investments grow into significant wealth. Focus on building unseen wealth, not showing off. True financial security comes from what you save and invest, not from what you spend on luxury items. Set financial limits. Don't let greed take over. Many people lose money because they always want more. Learn to recognize when you have enough to avoid unnecessary risks. Accept luck and risk as part of the journey. Financial success isn't just about hard work. It's also about timing, external factors, and making smart decisions despite uncertainty. Save like a pessimist, invest like an optimist. Be prepared for short-term financial downturns, but trust that smart, long-term investments will grow over time. Aim for financial freedom, not just money. Wealth isn't about buying things. It's about buying back your time. The ultimate goal is to have the freedom to choose how you live your life. Now it's time to take action. Which lesson from the psychology of money resonated with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your insights. If you found this summary valuable, hit the like button and subscribe for more videos on wealth building, success, and self-improvement. Want to read the full book? You can grab your copy of The Psychology of Money using the link in the description below. It's one of the best investments you can make in your financial future. Coming up next, the 48 Laws of Power, where we explore the timeless strategies of influence, power, and success. Don't miss it. Power governs everything. Whether in business, politics, or personal relationships, those who understand power control their destiny, while those who ignore it are controlled by others. The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene reveals timeless principles used by history's most powerful figures. This video breaks down all 48 laws, explaining how they work and how to use them to your advantage. Let's dive in. Law 1. Never outshine the master. Never make those above you feel inferior. If you're too talented or too smart, people in power may feel threatened. Instead, make them feel comfortable in their position, and they will reward you. Example: Nicolas Fouquet, a minister of finance in France, flaunted his wealth, making King Louis XIV jealous. The king imprisoned him for life. Lesson: make your superiors feel superior. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Friends can betray you because they feel entitled. Enemies, however, are predictable. If you win over an enemy, they may be more loyal than a friend. Example: Otto von Bismarck, the German leader, placed former enemies in key positions. They worked harder to prove their loyalty. Lesson: be cautious of friends and strategically use enemies. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. If people know your plans, they can sabotage them. Keep them guessing, and they will never be able to counter your moves. Example: Napoleon Bonaparte often deceived opponents by hiding his real intentions until it was too late. Lesson: keep your plans secret until they succeed. Law 4. Always say less than necessary. The more you talk, the more you reveal. Powerful people speak less and let others fill in the gaps. Example: a famous businessman once responded to a difficult question with just a nod. The lack of words made him seem mysterious and intelligent. Lesson: silence creates power. Speak only when necessary. Law 5. So much depends on reputation, guard it with your life. Your reputation is your most valuable asset. One bad rumor can destroy you. Protect it fiercely. Example: Queen Elizabeth I maintained a spotless reputation, which helped her rule for decades. Lesson: always control how people perceive you. Law 6. Court attention at all costs. If no one notices you, you are powerless. Stand out, create intrigue, and make people curious. Example: P.T. Barnum, the circus leader, used controversy to keep the public's attention on him. Lesson: be visible, or you will be forgotten. Law 7. Get others to do the work for you, but take the credit. Powerful people delegate, but take credit for results. This is how leaders maintain dominance. Example: Thomas Edison took credit for many inventions developed by his workers. Lesson: use others' efforts to build your empire. Law 8. Make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. Instead of chasing people, make them come to you. This gives you control. Example: Napoleon lured his enemies into bad positions rather than attacking them directly. Lesson: control situations by making others react to you. Law 9. Win through actions, not arguments. Words rarely change minds. Instead, prove your point through actions. Example: Benjamin Franklin often showed solutions instead of debating, earning him influence. Lesson: let results speak louder than words. Law 10. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Negativity is contagious. Stay away from those who always fail, as their bad energy will drag you down. Example: many historical leaders distance themselves from those who constantly complained. Lesson: surround yourself with winners. Law 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. If people rely on you, they can't betray you. Make yourself indispensable. Example: key advisors throughout history made themselves too valuable to remove. Lesson: be needed, and you will never be discarded. Law 12. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. Occasionally showing honesty makes people trust you completely, allowing you to deceive them later. Example: con artists gain trust by being overly generous at first. Lesson: use honesty strategically. Law 13. When asking for help, appeal to self-interest. People help when they see a personal benefit. Don't beg, show them what's in it for them. Example: a business leader once secured funding by showing investors how they would profit. Lesson: make it about them, not you. Law 14. Pose as a friend, work as a spy. The more information you gather, the more power you hold. Example: many successful business leaders quietly observe their competitors. Lesson: learn everything, reveal nothing. Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. A half-defeated enemy can return stronger. Finish them completely. Example: Julius Caesar ensured his enemies had no chance to rise again. Lesson: leave no room for revenge. Law 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. Too much availability lowers your value. Make yourself scarce, and people will desire you more. Example: Napoleon strategically disappeared from the public eye to increase intrigue. Lesson: absence creates demand. Law 17. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. When people can't predict your actions, they feel unsettled. Unpredictability gives you control. Example: Vladimir Putin uses unpredictable strategies to keep opponents guessing. Lesson: surprise keeps you in power. Law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. Hiding from enemies weakens your influence. Stay in the public eye to maintain power. Example: Louis XIV stayed at Versailles, surrounded by nobles, ensuring he controlled them. Lesson: stay visible and engaged with your network. Law 19. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. Not everyone reacts the same way to insults. Some seek revenge. Know who you're dealing with before taking action. Example: a businessman once underestimated a rival who later destroyed his career. Lesson: study people before making moves. Law 20. Do not commit to anyone. Avoid being too loyal. It limits your options. Stay neutral and let others fight for your support. Example: during wartime, Switzerland remained neutral, gaining power from both sides. Lesson: keep your independence. Law 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark. If people underestimate you, they lower their guard, giving you an advantage. Example: Warren Buffett acts like a humble old man, but he's one of the world's smartest investors. Lesson: appear simple while secretly being strategic. Law 22. Use the surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. Sometimes, the best move is to retreat and wait. Surrendering can be a setup for a stronger comeback. Example: Mahatma Gandhi used passive resistance to defeat the British Empire. Lesson: surrender is not defeat, it's a strategy. Law 23. Concentrate your forces. Dividing your energy weakens you. Focus your efforts on one powerful objective. Example: Apple focused on a few high-quality products instead of making everything. Lesson: master one thing, not everything. Law 24. Play the perfect courtier. Learn the rules of social power. Flatter important people, and you will rise. Example: historical advisors who praised kings often gained wealth and influence. Lesson: influence is about relationships, not just skill. Law 25. Recreate yourself. Don't let others define you. Control your own image and constantly evolve. Example: Madonna reinvented herself multiple times to stay relevant. Lesson: adapt or fade away. Law 26. Keep your hands clean. Never be directly linked to bad deeds. Use others to do your dirty work. Example: political leaders often have advisors take the blame for failures. Lesson: maintain a clean public image. Law 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. People crave belief. Offer them a vision, and they will follow you blindly. Example: Steve Jobs created a fanatical belief in Apple products. Lesson: lead with purpose, and people will follow. Law 28. Enter action with boldness. Hesitation makes you look weak. Act with confidence and certainty to gain authority. Example: Alexander the Great conquered vast lands through fearless action. Lesson: confidence attracts followers. Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. Never act without a long-term plan. Think steps ahead to avoid traps. Example: chess grandmasters calculate moves far in advance. Lesson: plan for the future, not just the present. Law 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. Make success look easy, even when it's not. Never let people see your struggles. Example, famous artists act like their work is natural talent, but they train obsessively. Lesson, hide your hard work, show only the results. Law 31. Control the options, get others to play with the cards you deal. Give people choices that always benefit you. Example, politicians frame debates so that any outcome supports their agenda. Lesson, control the game by shaping people's choices. Law 32. Play to people's fantasies. Reality is boring. People love dreams and illusions. Sell them what they desire. Example, Hollywood thrives by selling fantasy, not reality. Lesson, people follow those who inspire their imagination. Law 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. Everyone has weaknesses. Find them and you control them. Example, business moguls use competitors' weaknesses to outmaneuver them. Lesson, understand what motivates people, then use it. Law 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. If you carry yourself like a leader, people will treat you like one. Example, Napoleon dressed and acted like a king before he became one. Lesson, your behavior shapes your status. Law 35. Master the art of timing. Knowing when to act is as important as knowing what to do. Example, investors buy stocks when the market is down, not up. Lesson, wait for the right moment. Law 36. Disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. If you can't have something, pretend you don't want it. Example, powerful people don't react to insults, they act above it. Lesson, indifference is stronger than anger. Law 37. Create compelling spectacles. People remember dramatic visuals more than words. Use imagery to influence them. Example, political rallies use grand stage designs to inspire followers. Lesson, show, don't just tell. Law 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. Being too different makes you a target. Blend in before revealing your true thoughts. Example, historical revolutionaries hid their ideas before gaining power. Lesson, fit in, then take control. Law 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. When people are emotional, they make mistakes. Use their anger against them. Example, skilled negotiators provoke opponents into bad decisions. Lesson, keep calm, let others get emotional. Law 40. Despise the free lunch. If something is free, it usually has a hidden cost. Example, businesses offer free trials to hook customers into long-term payments. Lesson, nothing valuable is ever truly free. Law 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. Trying to replace a powerful figure often leads to failure. Instead, carve your own path. Example, many leaders who succeeded great rulers failed because they tried to copy their predecessor instead of innovating. Lesson, be the first version of yourself, not the second version of someone else. Law 42. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. Target the source of power in a group and the rest will fall apart. Example, when law enforcement takes down a gang leader, the entire group weakens. Lesson, eliminate the leader and the movement crumbles. Law 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. Winning people over emotionally is more powerful than forcing them into submission. Example, great leaders inspire loyalty, while tyrants rule through fear and eventually fall. Lesson, influence through connection, not caution. Law 44. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. Mirroring someone's actions confuses and unsettles them, making it easier to manipulate them. Example, when negotiating, repeating someone's words makes them feel heard and easier to persuade. Lesson, reflection is a powerful psychological tool. Law 45. Preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. People resist change even when it benefits them. Introduce new ideas gradually. Example: political leaders implement reform step by step to avoid backlash. Lesson: change is best accepted when it feels like evolution, not revolution. Law 46. Never appear too perfect. Showing flaws makes you relatable. Perfection creates jealousy and enemies. Example: celebrities share personal struggles to appear human and gain sympathy. Lesson: people relate more to imperfection than perfection. Law 47. Do not go past the mark you aimed for, learn when to stop. Success often leads to overconfidence. Know when to walk away. Example: many businesses fail because they expand too fast without a solid foundation. Lesson: stop at the right moment, don't get greedy. Law 48. Assume formlessness. Rigidity makes you predictable and easy to defeat. Be adaptable like water. Example: Bruce Lee's philosophy of being fluid in combat made him unstoppable. Lesson: adaptability is the ultimate power. The 48 Laws of Power teaches that power is not about brute force, it's about control, influence, and strategy. Here's what to remember. Key lessons from the 1948 Laws of Power. Control perception. Power comes from how others see you. Manage your image carefully. Be unpredictable. The element of surprise keeps you in control. Win through actions, not words. Let results speak louder than promises. Make people dependent on you. The more they need you, the more powerful you become. Never reveal your full intentions. Keep people guessing to maintain an advantage. Applying these laws in real life. Power is about control, not force. Subtle influence is more effective than open aggression. Influence is about perception. People follow those they perceive as powerful. Win people emotionally, not just logically. Emotions drive decision-making. Adapt and evolve. Power belongs to those who stay flexible and strategic. Which law stood out to you the most? Let us know in the comments. If you found this valuable, hit the like button and subscribe for more strategies on power, influence, and success. Want to master these laws? Get the 48 Laws of Power today through the link in the description. Up next, how to win friends